Hey, beautiful people. How y'all doing? This is a temperature check because I feel like there needs to be one. Happy new moon, y'all. How you feeling? Have you started to think about what you would like to set as your intentions? Have you set your intentions? What new moon rituals do you participate in? Comment down below if you do any of the above. Even if you just are aware that it is a new moon. New moon in Pisces, water sign, trickster, illusory. Let me go bullshit. But this is the last of the zodiac signs in its final, okay, I'm gonna call it descent, 12th of 12. All right. And then we're going to start all over again. So when you think about setting intentions, be mindful that you don't play small. You think exceptionally big here, because this is, when you think about intention setting right now, you should be thinking about 12 years ahead, right? Because there are 12 astrological signs, beginning with Aries and ending with Pisces, right? And because we're about to start Aries season on Friday, we're also about to start a new cycle, right? A 12-year cycle. And for many of you, that's a big fucking deal, right? So when you think about setting your intentions during this new moon cycle, think extraordinary. Think wish fulfillment. Think, what do your dreams say? Okay? And I don't mean like the dreams that you be having just in this present space. I mean the big shit that you have had throughout your life that perhaps hasn't manifested yet. Revisit those things and put them back into the universe, okay? So I'll tell you this. I have been purging and releasing quite a lot, and not just from a physical standpoint of sinus drainage and allergies, but also from an energetic standpoint, letting go and releasing things that I know do not serve me, and setting boundaries. One of the hardest things that I will tell you for me when I started setting boundaries was not just creating a boundary, but actually imploring that boundary and executing that boundary in the face of, for example, loved ones. Okay, because a lot of times it's your loved ones that you really have to set parameters around on how you plan and plan not to interact or move about, okay? And it's not to say that you need to have all these rigid boundaries in place where you're not flexible, where you kill the gray area of life, but you do need to have some sense of what you do and do not stand for, right? Because if you don't stand for anything, they're gonna what? You're gonna what? Fall for any motherfucking thing, okay? So let's get into the tarot. Let's see what the overall energy is today. Okay, oh. 8 of Wands. Rapid movement and action, okay? Lots of rapid movement and action, and that's fire sign energy. It makes sense, okay? We're entering into Aries season. Aries season is a fire sign, okay? Aries is a leader. It charges ahead, okay? And so you can expect to have a tick up in your energy during this spacing, okay? You could have been tired, but springtime, you're going to see something totally different. It's almost like you are coming out of, not almost like, but actually like you're coming out of hibernation in the winter months, okay? Yeah, a lot of folks consider it the new year, but the new year is just starting. That is why it feels like renewal. That's why you're seeing the weather shifting. You're seeing nature shifting. Everything, in essence, is moving ahead, okay? And you can expect a lot of movement this spring. All right. How can you take action? That's one of the questions that you need to reflect upon. How can you take action that is going to benefit you? Not just the community surrounding you, but you. Okay. Because I know a lot of you guys are givers, and you tend to have the philosophy that airlines don't. Okay. Help the person next to you and then help yourself. No, that cycle is closed. What you're going to start doing is like the airline suggests. You're going to put your mask on first. Okay. And then you're going to help the person next to you, because we can't sustain ourselves, all right, in a healthy way if we're always giving, and we're not learning how to receive, all right? There's something here about August. All right, we had quite a few cards flip out. We've got the Five of Pentacles that kind of landed not in reverse, but sort of a little off kilt. We got the Seven of Pentacles. And then we've got the Star card. Now this tells a beautiful story, and this is some beautiful energy. All right. Now, let's talk about wintertime. Let's talk about where we were at this time at the end of the month in December. And for many of you guys, kind of at the end of the month in December, going into the beginning of the new year in January, the new calendar year in January. You were going through some shit. You were going through some shit. And a lot of you guys didn't even share that with anyone. You went through it by yourself, okay? You took the chaos that was going on around you, that was making it difficult for you, and you went inward, okay? And instead of asking for help, you figured it out on your own, right? You were in need. Many of you guys, I bet if I asked you what was in your bank account at the end of the year, you could tell me I ain't had shit, okay? And it was a huge lesson for you that you've learned about how to further support yourself and how to come home to yourself. Okay, but that is not your energy right now. This is not your energy right now. Okay, you're not walking through the cold alone, hoping that someone will save you, because you learned how to come home to yourself and that you can save yourself. All right, and as a result of that, you're being rewarded. Look at this. Okay, you are being rewarded, but that is not to say that you don't oftentimes look back at how hard it was just a few months ago. Okay? You're being rewarded for what you went through and what you successfully accomplished, okay, in the winter months. And now as we're springing forward, okay, you're about to reap the benefits of what you sown back in winter. Many of you guys probably had a slowdown in your finances, a huge hit to your finances. You probably had some shakiness in your job setting. You probably were wondering, what's next? If not this, then what? What am I going to do? Okay, because things had picked up at one time in the summer and fall, they slowed down tremendously in the winter. Okay, and then you got this beautiful trusty ass Star card. All right. You've been in heavy reflection, and it has paid, because the more you've reflected, the more you have learned what it is that works for you and what does not. And it's helped you to essentially begin to birth anew, to begin to creatively think outside of the boxes that you were in that winter period. And now you realize, because you did go home to yourself, that you are the star. Okay? You don't consider yourself the star in your story, but you are. When you're able to do the things that you have been able to do, and then do them on your own, many of which people cannot fathom doing. They can't walk not just a mile, but a couple of steps in your shoes. Child, once you come to the realization of how big you truly are, how supported you are, and how favored you are, baby. Yeah, you were stagnant for a while, or at least you felt that way. Empress card in reverse, but that's not your energy right now. Five of Cups in reverse. Let me tell you, you accepted that it wasn't going to always be the way that it was, and it allowed you to move forward. The Magician in reverse. You've recognized the people that don't need to be in your life, and you've gotten away from that fucking trickster energy in the way that we are moving away from Pisces season and moving into Aries season. And now you're sitting as the Queen of Cups. Keep moving. I love y'all. This is beautiful energy.